Welcome back, everyone, to the Week 13 edition of Fireside Football. I'm Kendall Caps.
And I'm Andrew Williams.
Well, Andrew, here we are. We're at the three-quarter pole, coming down the stretch now. Finally got some key divisional matchups coming up, right?
Yeah, I really like the way the NFL has changed the schedule around this year, where all the divisional matchups happen in these last 4 or 5 weeks of the season. Now we're sitting here with all these rivalry games, all these divisional games, and meaningful games here in December. Just a lot different than we've had a couple of the years past where division races are wrapped up.
Absolutely. It's a little different to see, and I like it. Let's start off with a key old-school rivalry. The Washington Redskins, with their season on the line, arguably, going on the road to the Meadowlands to face the New York Giants. What do you think?
I think it's huge for the NFC East. The Giants sitting tied atop the top with the Eagles and really wanting to make a run here. They've kind of looked shaky the last couple weeks.
They have.
But I like the way the Redskins have played. Last week they did get one stolen from the Vikings, but I think McNabb can go on the road in New York, have a big game, and with some of those key injuries of the Giants players, can really step up and steal a win from the Giants here and get themselves back into this playoff.
Well, I do think it should be a pretty close game. The Giants, with their injuries, Steve Smith is out, Hakeem Nicks is out, so the two top weapons on the outside are hurt. But Eli's been using Kevin Boss as tight end a lot more the last couple of weeks, and that's been a problem for Washington so far this season. And Washington has their own injuries that they've been dealing with. Ryan Terrain's out. Clinton Portis is out. They're going with Kellen Williams as their starting running back. Santana Moss has been doubled the last few weeks, and his numbers have suffered because of that. Anthony Armstrong is the only other weapon that McNabb has. So I think they're going to have a hard time moving the ball on the road in this game, and I like the Giants to find a way to win this game going.
Well, now let's go to a divisional matchup that I know you're anxious to talk about.
Yes, I am.
The New York Jets going into New England to play the Patriots. You've got the Jets undefeated on the road, the Patriots undefeated at home.
And not only that, but it's only the 5th time in NFL history that two teams, or excuse me, in the last 30 years, that two teams that are at least 9-2 are playing each other on Monday night. And it should be a great game. The Jets, they're built to stop this New England offense. They're not like Pittsburgh with that zone blitz type defense, and they leave holes in the middle that usually Tom Brady, is able to take advantage of. They play man out there, and they bring 4 or 5 guys up front, and that tends to give Brady some problems. However, New England is playing at a level right now that I haven't seen in a few years. They're finding ways to win games. They're, once again, the smartest team in the NFL. They don't commit the penalties. They don't have the turnovers that cost them games. And at home, I don't think they're going to lose this game.
Well, now I'm going to go against here. I'm going to take the Jets. And you mentioned New England's finding a way to win games. The team that's finding a way to win every game right now is the New York Jets. Whether they're down 6 with 30 seconds left and 80 yards to go, they've been finding a way to do it. And like you said, I think this Jets team is built to play against the Patriots team. That's the way Rex Ryan developed it. And they beat them last year, they beat them earlier this year. And I think a key matchup here is that in this second game, the Jets now have Darrelle Revis able to roam the field, whereas the first game is locked down primarily on Randy Moss.
Well, and he also got injured halfway through that game and didn't finish the game when he was trying to catch up with Randy Moss in that incredible catch.
So I think the Jets defense is going to have an even stronger showing, and the Jets are going to sweep the Patriots for the first time in a while and really take a chokehold on the AFC.
Well, that would win the division for them if they did that, but I could say one thing. November 12th, 2006, last time Tom Brady lost a regular season game at home, 4 years ago. He doesn't lose at home. I don't think it's starting here.
I'd say some streaks are just meant to end.
Well, we'll find out on Monday. Well, another key matchup in the AFC South, the first-place Jacksonville Jaguars at 6-5, tied with Indy, but own the tiebreaker going on the road to Tennessee, a team that's only 1 game up.
Yeah, well, I really like Tennessee here. They've got a lot of players coming back from injury. They've got Kerry Collins, and lo and behold, Kerry Collins actually has some guys to throw the ball to. Kenny Britt's back. Justin Gage is back. Nate Washington is back, and Randy Moss is still there, but we'll ignore that for the time being based on his performance. But I think the biggest factor here is going to be Chris Johnson. The Jaguars give up huge games to Chris Johnson. If you watched that game earlier this year, the Titans tore through the Jaguars, ran them off the field with Kerry Collins at quarterback. I'm looking for something similar here. This one's in Tennessee. I think the Titans reclaim that tie with the Jaguars in the NFC.
I agree. I think the Titans find a way to win this. It should be a decent ball game, unlike the game earlier this year that was a blowout for Tennessee. Both teams should run the ball well. Neither team defends the run very well. And with MJD and Chris Johnson, the two backs in this game, I think they'll both have pretty solid games. But to me, the difference is one team gives up touchdowns, one doesn't. Jacksonville's given up 12 rushing touchdowns on the ground this year. Tennessee's only given up 4. So despite all the yards they're giving up, they're not letting in through the air. I don't see Sims Walker or Mike Thomas having any big game for them on the outside, and because of that, I think Tennessee finds a way to win the game.
Well, let's move over to the NFC South, to a big matchup between the division-leading Falcons going on the road to play Tampa Bay, the comeback kids with a bunch of rookies lining up to play. Who do you think takes this one here?
Well, you know, I love Josh Freeman. I love watching him play. He's a winner. He reminds me of Vince Young when Vince Young first came out. His stats are never that great. They're not astounding, but he finds ways to win games. And they almost beat Atlanta, in the place where Atlanta never loses. They were 3 yards away from winning that game a couple weeks ago. But to me, with all the injuries that they have on their team, and I still think they played a little bit better than they're capable of. They've been playing better than what they should have. And I think this is the week they come down to earth, and Atlanta is on a mission. The mission continues this week, and they roll, and they win this game to go to 10-2.
Well, and I was a little nervous about this game because you said before this season nobody's really put together 5, 6, 7 straight wins, and Atlanta is on a roll. But then you go back and look at that first game between the Falcons and the Bucs, and the Falcons jumped out early. The Bucs got some big plays on special teams, some lucky breaks to keep them in. And yes, they were close at the end, but even still the Falcons found the way to shut the door. I think it's going to be a little different. I think the Falcons are going to roll. I think they're going to put it on them early. I think they're going to hold it through late and really prove what kind of a team they are going into this playoff push here.
Yeah. Well, how about another horrible division that we have in the AFC West? San Diego, who's 6-5. They've won 4 straight. They're pulling their same old antics where they start slow, finish strong, win every game. Can they continue that again this week going against Oakland at home?
Well, you know, I think Oakland's going to look better than they've looked the last couple weeks.
That's not saying much.
That's very true. And for that reason, I still can't pick against San Diego. Not at home, not in December.
Yes.
They've 19-0 in the last few Decembers. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they keep rolling and starting off in these big holes and climbing their way out, but if anybody knows their way to climb out of a hole, it's the San Diego Chargers.
It is. They do it every year, and they're very versatile. They have a decent running game. They can get the ball to the outsides. They got Vincent Jackson back. He's questionable after re-injuring himself last week, but they have so many weapons, and defensively, they're ranked #1 in the NFL once again. They have a solid defense, and if they jump out on Oakland, which I expect them to do, Oakland is not the type of team to be able to come from behind. Just look at the game against Pittsburgh. If they fall behind by double digits, they can't come from behind. The same should happen in this game.
And also, the way that San Diego's rolling after that Colts game last week, they may be unstoppable for the next 4 weeks yet again.
Until the wild card.
Well, let's move over to another big game of the week, I should say.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh going into Baltimore. Who do you see taking this?
You know, it should be a great game. It's one of those slobber knockers, 2 physical teams that want to get at it. There's going to be lots of big hits, possibly some fines, some helmet-to-helmets. Pittsburgh might not know what's legal, what's not. It should be a great ball game. They're always close games when they play each other. Everything's a 3, 6, 9-point game every time they play. Pittsburgh's 5-0 when Big Ben plays against Baltimore, 0-3 during that stretch when he doesn't. But I think that streak is actually going to come to an end this week. I like Baltimore at home. I think they're playing better than Pittsburgh right now, and they're going to find a way to win this game and win the division.
Well, and I agree. What you said, Big Ben has been the difference in these games, Pittsburgh versus Baltimore. Big Ben has a broken foot this week.
Yep.
But they almost beat the Ravens without him. Now they've got him back. I'm going to take Pittsburgh going on the road here to pull out a close game. I think all their games are generally within 5, 7, 10 points, but I think Pittsburgh can pull it out at the end. I think their passing game may outshine the Ravens' passing game towards the end, and they take it home.
Well, it very well might happen. It's going to be a close game either way, and it should be a lot of fun. So, hope you enjoy all the key weekend divisional games this weekend, and tune in again next week for Fireside Football. For Andrew Williamson, I'm Kendall Kepps. Hope to see you again next week.